Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday service of Now Creations. May I simply remind you that all that you're ever going to need in life, you have within you. You have that conscious God Spirit. May it be your direction in life. May it bring you the great happiness and joy that it is meant to do so. Just nice to have you with us here this morning. A couple of reminders. First of all, we'll be doing Eckhart Tolle tonight, The New Earth, from 6 to 7:30. Certainly welcome you to join us. And tomorrow evening, Monday, we'll be doing our meditation from 7 to 8 o'clock. And then also on Friday afternoon, October the 14th, we will begin our two books on Eastern wisdom, the Tao Te Ching, and then eventually the Bhagavad Gita. You'll receive an email tomorrow morning. Encourage you to have the proper translations, and please join us if you're able to do so. The Eastern wisdom is absolutely wonderful. My dear friends, one of my favorite phrases over the past several years has been to move it forward, to move it forward. Life continues to happen to us, and we must have the intelligence and the confidence to move it forward. In one sense, it is very easy to allow life to simply pass us by as new changes continue to make us comply or simply fall behind. While we can resist change and settle for the complacency of the past, within us, we know that we too must move forward in life or fall by the wayside as life moves beyond us. This notion of keeping up with the movement of life is the topic of today's teaching entitled Today's People. Today's People. This title hopefully will inspire us to move beyond the past and to be comfortably into the future flow of life. Let's begin. The essence of today's people, the essence of us, began with much of the political movement in the mid-1960s, with the passage of the civil rights legislation, voting rights, and also the Immigration Act. Social changes were afoot. But yet the real flowering for today's people, for us, occurred a little later in the 1960s and was inspired by the music of that era. It began with songs such as The Impossible Dream and What's It All About, Elfie? And who could forget the dawning of the age of Aquarius in 1967, followed in 1968 by What the World Needs Now is Love, Sweet Love. And in 1969, the inspiration to lay oneself down like a bridge over troubled waters. Obviously, a change was in the air. Then, of course, Woodstock happened in August of 1969, and another call was heard by today's people, us, to care for one another. But while Woodstock came and went, the music of the times continued with these three inspirational hits of 1971. First, there was John Lennon's song, Imagine. Just imagine if the world could be as one. And then Carol King's You've Got a Friend, come winter, spring, summer, or fall. And lastly, Cat Stevens' invitation to get on the peace train. Before getting into the message of this music, I think that it's important for us to mention that these songs of the 60s and early 70s are timeless in their message. There's just something about the music that warms the heart. In fact, it makes the heart sing. And every time one hears this music, something within you seems to turn on. It's like turning on your heart light. There seems to be an enduring message in this music. So what is it? What is this enduring message? Not just in the politics of the time, not just in the social changes of the times, but what is it that was in the music of the 1960s and 1970s that inspires us even to today? I think that the answer to this question was that the music of the 60s and early 70s was a call to organize the world around love. It was a call to organize the world around love. A call to make the world or to remake the world in the image of love. And perhaps by an extension, to remake the world in the image of God, to bring heaven to earth. While the emotion of love was clearly presented in the music, the emotion of love had not yet come in its proper time. Something at the time in the emotion of love was missing. The missing element, I believe, was that the emotion of love, the feeling of love, needed to be understood better. The emotion of love needed to advance simply beyond social acceptance and sexual expression. The emotion of love needed to be rooted in a higher conceptual consciousness. Let me repeat this. The emotion of love, the songs of the 60s and early 70s, needed to be rooted in a higher conceptual framework. It needed more work. The emotion of love had to be raised to a more understandable and far-reaching set of ideas, far beyond simply the lower third dimensional concept of love. Such a conceptual revolution to root the emotion of love in a higher conceptual framework began in 1972, the year after those three inspirational songs. The very next year, after the inspirational music. You all know the book I am referring to, where in 1960 to 1972, it was the book channeled by Jesus to Helen Schucman and edited by William Thetford, entitled, as you know, A Course in Miracles. While this book was absolutely foundational for the forward movement of the emotion of love, it was a very, very difficult book for many people to understand. It was often bought, attempted to be read, and then placed back on the bookshelf. However, the two main teachings of the book were clearly presented on pages 94 and 95, and clearly presented the conceptual forward movement for us, today's people. It presented the conceptual forward movement for us, today's people. The first main teaching of the book is Jesus's words, teach only love, for that is what you are. Teach only love, for that is what you are. What a conceptual elevation to the emotion of love. Your essential nature is love. More than just an external display of social acceptance or personal intimacy, Jesus announced love at the very center of your being. This message had been inherent in the music, but now it had a strong conceptual foundation that love is not just an emotion, but that love is an identity. Teach only love, for that is what you are. Love was not just an emotion that you have, but an identity that you are. Do you understand this? Love is an identity that you are. You're not just getting, in a sense, a little understanding of love. You're getting the big understanding of love. And you're getting a clue to what love is as a basis for us, today's people, coming in just a little bit. Yet, there was a second teaching in A Course in Miracles that was also of incredible importance. Jesus said that the crucifixion was not about being saved. The crucifixion, rather, was an extreme example that no one is to be excluded from the family of God, not even those who were putting him to death at the moment. No one is to be excluded. Thus, we have Jesus's incredible words when he was dying on the cross, proclaiming, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing." Now, you not only have a conceptual framework for the emotion of love, but you also have a conceptual framework for realizing that many people are caught in lower energies, and they must be understood as such, not to be excluded. What an enormous advancement for us, today's people. Love is indeed what we are, and everyone is a member of the family of God. We have to just get this brazened into ourselves. Love is who we are. Everyone is part of the family of God. Love and oneness. Love and oneness brought to a conceptual level in A Course in Miracles. And then from this groundbreaking book of A Course in Miracles came a slew of writers explaining, yes, we are love, and yes, we must be one with everyone. You know the names of those people: Gary Zukav, Deepak, Wayne Dyer, Neil Donald Walsh, Bob Monroe, Barbara Marx Hubbard, Byron Katie, and Eckhart Tolle, to name just a few. Which now brings us to today, and to us, today's people. May I suggest to you that today's people have made the advancement to a new frontier and are now living by three factors as we move it forward. First, the new frontier. We did even better than simply A Course in Miracles. The new frontier that elevated the experience of love is the realm of consciousness. While the realm of consciousness contains the element of love, it has so much more to it. In addition, and prior to love, the realm of consciousness contains those two qualities of light and oneness. By light, we mean the consciousness, the illumination, the knowing, the understanding that everything is a part of God. Everything is a part of the unified field. Everything is a part of the all that is. This light abides in us as a presence, as a knowing, and that we are perfectly equipped to understand what is needed for us in any situation in our lives. We simply know what to do wherever we are because of the inner light that illumines the situations of our lives. We are no longer feebly ignorant. We have the light that guides our love. And secondly, this consciousness has with it the understanding of the oneness of all things. We are a unified whole. We are always where we are meant to be. There are no mistakes as to where we are to show up and how we are to respond. Do you not see that love can be blind at times, well-meaning, not quite sure what to do? Love needs the direction of consciousness to illumine the way with accuracy and confidence. Love needs consciousness, presence, the light, so that we might be much more confident, much more accurate in our assessments. While love is the inspirational feeling of the heart, it is guided by the light of consciousness. As we now move ahead, we have to understand that love is the expression of light. Love is the expression of consciousness. And when love is guided by the light of consciousness, one is able to move it forward with greater certainty, greater assurance. Light and love, quite a dynamic pair. They are the dynamics of consciousness, illuminating and then expressing with great strength, embracing everyone, everything. This quality of consciousness, with its dynamics of light and love, illumination and expression, is what began in the 60s and is now finding expression in us, today's people. We are today's people. So let me address the three qualities of us, today's people, as we move it forward in life. First, we really are today's people. We are not the people of the past. We are no longer bound by the leaders, the ideologies, or the belief systems of the past. Especially, we are no longer bound by the religions of the past. They have stayed in the past. We truly understand that holding on to the things of the past will keep us stuck in the past. In order to do this, to not allow the past to entrap you, you have been able to make a new discovery within you. Rather than being fearful or worried about moving beyond the past in your mind, which continues to entrap us if we allow it to do so, you have come to understand that there is a new aspect to your knowing, an aspect that you can trust. You have come to know and to understand the movement of your heart. This movement beyond the mind of the past into the heart of the presence is the biggest advancement we have made. This movement beyond the mind of the past, thinking about, oh, I should do this, I should do that. Two, the understanding of the heart is the biggest advancement of today's people. We truly realize that the heart is the superior guide, and that the heart has reasons the mind is clueless of. Now we have it straight. The heart directs, the mind implements. The second quality. The second quality of today's people follows from the first and contains two very practical points. First, you have come to truly trust the guidance of your heart. because you realize that the heart really is the place where you receive the soul's guidance. Heart and soul are synonymous, for in them you receive the guidance of the Holy Spirit by way of intuitions. You have come to realize as you take the time to listen to your soul speaks to you in ways your mind would never understand. Your soul speaks to you by the promptings of the intuitions within. Oh, at first the mind wants to step in and sabotage these intuitions, these promptings, but not anymore. You know better. We know better. You know that what is coming forth from your soul is the true guidance. And you realize that this guidance not only is present to you right now, it will continue to be the basis for your future. Bravo. Bravo. You've come to an incredible understanding of life. This is, in a sense, now allows me to make a second point. Your heart, your soul, has become the barometer of truth. Your soul has become the barometer of truth, not only from what others are saying, but also from what your own mind sometimes says. You have a new barometer of truth. Rather than running things through your mind by way of thinking, you now run things through your soul by way of feeling. You've changed directions from mind to soul. You are no longer duped by the false teachings from others or from your own past, but truly realize that if it does not resonate within your heart and soul, it will no longer guide you. This sense of knowing what you are doing because of the inner knowing of your soul, not the opinion of others, not the opinion of your own past thoughts, is the basic quality of today's people. If it is not done in love, regardless of who is saying it, you will not be fooled. If it's not presented in love, you're not going to be duped. But if it does vibrate with love, you are ready to embrace it. And especially, you are able to embrace the love that is coming from within you as your soul intuitively guides you. What an advancement. You know what you're doing. Which now brings me to the third quality of today's people. Many of you, in a sense, have said it in many ways, such as in the statements, I've never been as calm as I've been. I'm the happiest that I've been. Both of which, in a sense, are very wonderful things. But what they really speak to you is that the presence within you, the consciousness within you as light and love is now the ultimate authority of your life going forward. You have come to the place of knowing your ultimate authority. And that authority, you have come to realize, is the direct connection you have to the God Spirit. You've learned not to doubt this, that you have a direct connection to the God Spirit. You have stopped obsessing. You have stopped obsessing about the world and simply your personality self. And now you're moving into your fullness as a soul spirit who has not left your source. What an achievement to know this, to understand it, to feel it, and to allow it to be directive for you. May I suggest these two simple points? First, what an incredible advancement in consciousness you have made. You realize that you know what you are doing as you go forward in life. You finally have an authority that you can trust, the presence of the Holy Spirit within you that is guiding you. This is big. And secondly, the confidence you now have. You feel that you're in charge of yourself, not the little uncertain ego, but rather the larger sense of you that wants to organize your life around love and truly understand the kindness that your intelligence is moving you to express. You are very smart and you are very kind. You have begun to organize around love. In conclusion, I think you've gotten the message of the 60s, remaking the world in the image of love. In so doing, please realize how important you are, not only to your immediate family and friends, but also to all of humanity and to our planet as well. We are today's people. We are today's people, not yesterday's people, or the people of the distant past. We are today's people, going forth in peace, going forth in love, that is now fully conscious. From the emotion of love, to the concept of love, to the consciousness of love. Today's people. And yes, we are doing this together. Let me now bring you into meditation, and what a joy it is to do so. Let us begin as we are wont to do, by just taking the moment to focus on the breath and allow the breath to carry you. Let it carry you to a sense of calmness with your body, reducing that mental chatter, and especially to bring you forward, to bring you, your soul, your heart space forward. Please begin. Aren't you thrilled right now? Isn't there something in you right now that says yes to the teaching of this morning? Call it your heart, call it your soul, call it the spirit. There's just something within you that resonates around the concept of love. Well, yes, it is an emotion. You're feeling it right now. I know you are. You just feel that love moving through you. This is who I am. This is who I am. You have been able to center this emotion from a deeper conceptual place. Those incredible words of Jesus, teach only love, for that is what you are. Begin to move us simply from the emotion into the center of our beings. You have advanced well from emotion to the centeredness of your being. But that love needed one more thing. It needed a certainty, an illumination, an understanding that it was right. In the past 15, 20 years have really brought us into the notion of consciousness. We are fully conscious beings, aligned with our source energy. Right now is not the love that is within you what you most want to do. Don't you just want to love everyone? The love was preceded by the light. And now they work harmoniously, light and love, knowing and expressing. Perhaps what has been even more surprising to you is that those qualities of light and love are within you. You have a direct connection to the light and love of the God Spirit right within you. Don't get stuck in the past. We are today's people. We are today's people. We get up in the morning, the first thing we do before getting out of bed is we dedicate the day to the Holy Spirit to bring heaven to earth. It's what we do. We've stopped obsessing about stuff in the world and your stuff. We've stopped that. Rather, we move inward to the light and love of the Holy Spirit. You really do have a new barometer of truth, the light and love of the God Spirit within you. I sense within you an excitement to bring this light and love into your day. Certainly today. And yet more and more into more and more of our days. This has become our way of being. We teach only love because we know that that's what we are. Could it be that simple? Oh, yes, because our love is guided by the light. We, as today's people, are very savvy.
I honor thee, light shines bright to illumine love without, love within. I honor thee, I honor thee. Namaste, I honor thee, I honor thee, I honor thee. Namaste, I honor thee. When you are where you need to be, within that space, I honor thee. Seen through eyes of illusion, seen through spirit, we are one. I honor thee, I honor thee, I honor thee. Namaste, I honor thee, I honor thee, I honor thee. Namaste, I honor thee. Namaste, I honor
We are today's people. Smart, intelligent, and yet so loving and so kind. We know what we're doing. We're bringing heaven to earth. Namaste.